You are welcome.
For what?
For the cigars. Look, I went to the trouble. I didn't just get you stuff that I know you like, that I like. I specifically chose cigars that you really enjoy, that I don't even smoke.
These are like the deep tracks of my
that's
cigars.
right. Deep cuts.
Deep cuts. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
Yeah,
good
man.
job.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you're
you did
welcome.
well.
You know?
You know what? Listen, every good wife knows what their man needs.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for knowing what this man needed.
I kind of was that way because ultimately I put it on your tab, so I didn't pay for them.
Exactly.
I just picked it out, and then you paid for your own present. I know that's not every time. But sometimes the wife works and the husband stays at home, in which case it's reversed. I'm just saying, in a lot of cases,
Continue.
That's, I'm just saying, sometimes that's the case.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm not going to call you
I'm
out
not
of this
making
one.
a judgment
See,
call.
I thought you were actually judging how Michelle and I have it, right? Where it's like,
when she buys you a present with your money.
with my money, or I'm like, if I don't have time, well, oftentimes I try to like now I'm researching something.
Right.
I'm researching something to give her for November, and I'm like looking, trying to find it. But oftentimes I'll be like, here's X amount. Go get what you want. Which feels like every other week.
Here's the thing. Here's what you do wrong. This is something that you do wrong.
I don't do it
This is
wrong.
wrong. Okay, ladies, chime in. If your wife says, "Ooh, I want that purse," and I don't know if she cares about Gucci purses, I'm just going to use that as an example. You're like, "I want to get this Gucci purse. It's my favorite. I really want that." And you go and you look at it and you go, "You know what? The stitching on this other purse
First
is
of all,
better."
I just did that.
And so then you get a different purse for her and you bring it and you're like, "Hey, I know you wanted the Gucci, but I got you this one because it's better."
Better because the stitching was nicer.
Okay, now listen. If she prefers that point, then it's fine. But I said to you, but what if she said, "No, I want the Gucci one still"?
She's wrong.
Yeah, see that's messed up.
No, she's
you
wrong.
You are messed up.
She's wrong.
You're so messed
Because
up.
no, I'm just saying.
You got to get her what she wants.
The stitch. You know what? What she
Doesn't
wanted
matter.
looked cheap.
Doesn't matter. If that's what she wants, it doesn't matter.
Everything like stitching around it. It's so ugly. I'll show you a photo.
It doesn't matter if that's what she wants.
No, and it wasn't Gucci. I want to make sure everybody knows that that's not my wife's taste.
What was it? It was a much more expensive bag. Probably.
No, it was not.
I know her taste.
No, I know her taste. It was not. I can't even pronounce it, but it wasn't Gucci.
Yeah, it was like what?
Lorraine Dogny.
What?
Dognaire.
Okay,
I told you it
I
wasn't
don't
like
even- I never heard of
it
it.
ain't like no designer.
Nobody cares. Oh, hey, welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast exploring Christian faith and practice, or whatever we're talking about today, from a Reformed Baptist perspective, or in this case, probably just ours. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, executive pastor at Redeemer Fellowship.
Oh, man.
Here we is.
I just finally get a chance to chill.
Yeah, how is you?
I only had to wait 20 minutes for you to get off the phone.
Oh, leave me alone.
Oh, my
it
goodness.
happens. It happens.
But it was my time. This was our time.
You know what? I just sometimes you're on a phone with an old friend,
and what you say is, "Hey, gotta go. JoJo's here."
I was.
That's what you do.
Finishing off, we were
That's what you
talking
do.
about some serious things, and just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Okay, it didn't sound very serious.
Oh, didn't sound serious?
No, because you kept going, "Okay, all right, yeah, all right." Like that's I need to get off the phone off ramp. That's what that is.
No.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be, but it wasn't this time. Mm-hmm. It's usually when I'm on the phone with like Steve.
Oh, is that what that is? That's a Steve.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
How are you doing?
It's just been. I'm just tired. I need vacation. Got a couple more weeks before vacation kicks in.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm stuck mostly driving around my daughter's car, which is awesome.
You're stuck. You're loving it.
I don't love it.
You're walking on sunshine.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Dude, that photo was great.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Extremely proud.
I'm driving my daughter's yellow Mini because my hoopty is
the Mini for the Mini.
Yeah, and it's just so I'm parked in the church parking lot before staff meeting, and Jimmy pulls up and drives past me to where he normally parks, but then he sees an opportunity to take a picture of me in this car, so he backs up, pulls up, starts taking pictures, and there's an actual, literal, real rainbow.
How soon are you going to get past the test? How soon are you going to be able to take it?
What?
how soon are you going to be able to, take the test?
What test?
Your driver's test, because if you look at that photo in the back of it,
yeah. Student driver.
Yeah,
it's my daughter's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's great.
I wonder what people think when they roll up to this, this yellow.
There are some
hoopty,
older student drivers.
yellow hoopty with a student driver sticker, and there's this bald bearded guy, old man, smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Do you smoke in your daughter's car?
That's not. I'm not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed?
Mm-mm.
So if I go look at your Instagram for today,
right? I'm not driving her car today.
Never mind.
But I am not allowed to smoke in that car. That is Catherine's car.
So how many times have you smoked in that car?
I'm not allowed to smoke in that
car.
I know.
So just say 0 then.
How
many times have you smoked in that car?
Like I said, I feel like I'm at a hearing. I'm not allowed to smoke.
Would you say you smoked 1 cigar?
I'll just repeat what I said from the beginning, Your Honor. I am not allowed to smoke in that car. So we're going to just talk about some stuff that's annoying us, and a lot of people liked it.
Yeah. Some people did. Yeah.
No, a lot of people did.
Okay,
we got a lot of feedback. The one guy didn't. I went on Twitter just a little bit ago, and I was like, "Hey guys, think we should do another thing where we're just talking about what's annoying us on social media?"
Just kidding, I don't care.
And then I said, I really don't care what you think. And then this guy was like, he's like, "Hey man, I'm a fan, but not very nuanced when you do that." I said, "Well, prepare for a podcast with no nuance."
Yeah, prepare to be disappointed.
Yeah. There's you know what I saw? Here, I'll bring up something I saw.
All right, what'd you see?
Okay, there's this guy. I gotta zoom in here. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, this is on Twitter.
All right, Twitter.
And for some reason I can't
We've been chilling on Twitter lately.
All right, so why can't I zoom in on this? All right, so this guy Nate yells at clouds.
All right, Nate McKeever.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Nate_McKeever, at Nate_McKeever.
Oh, look, no numbers, Jimmy. All right.
I hate you.
He said, so I saw something similar to this idea a little while ago where Baptists were tweeting about their favorite Presbyterians, and I thought I'd flip the script. So, fellow Presbys, tell me about some of your favorite Baptist theologians or preachers. Spurgeon is a given. And then he said, and just to kick it off, I really appreciated Joe Thorne and Jimmy Fowler and their podcast, Doc and Devo. Sure, there are a lot of smarter guys in their camp. LOL. But I've really come to appreciate their mostly level-headed approach to ministry. Obviously, there's a lot more people that are much smarter.
So much more intelligent. They write real books, Joe.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Nate.
Who yells at clouds?
Listen, there's always somebody smarter.
Yeah.
So there's always somebody smarter. And I know that you know that. So that's really not your point. Your point is these guys are dumb. But I think that's your point.
Because you even said, sure, there are a lot of smarter guys in their camp. LOL.
Right. So because it's a given that there's Jim Renahan could have his own podcast. Tom Nettles could have his own podcast. And you could say, well, there's somebody smarter than him. But that's not your point. Your point is
there might be someone
there definitely there's always somebody smarter. Always somebody.
Then Renahan?
Yeah.
Who? Barcelos?
No, that's the grasshopper.
Yeah.
So yeah, we hear you. We're here. So we don't claim to be the sharpest. But then Jimmy said, what did you say? They may be smarter,
but are they better looking? And he agreed, not even close. LOL. Why are you laughing there, bro? You should just be like, yeah.
You guys look good. You just don't sound good.
What's your issue with this backhanded compliment, Joe?
Nothing. It's just I like that he likes listening to guys that he doesn't think are very smart. It's a compliment, but it's kind of not. It's like, hey, you're funny little clowns. Look, dance clown, dance clown. I don't know.
But Joe, don't worry, you've got 5 books.
I know. Now, everybody in the church refers to that that stuff. Oh, by the way, you know who I got to hang out with today?
Who?
My new BFF.
Well, I don't.
Matt the pilot.
Matt.
Matt.
First of all, we all know I'm closer to you than Joe is. It's fine.
No, he actually told me. He
did not. Yeah. I'm texting him right now to ask.
And he changed his number.
Nope, I'm texting him right now.
And he said he brought up the fact that I basically called it. when I explained, when he said that you read stuff well on Doc and Devo, and I was like, "Oh,
did you say to Joe that you like him more than me?" Follow up.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I read good? Matt, just right now, you're getting a text.
All right. So what's been going on Twitter? What do we need? We don't have a lot of time. We'll just talk about a couple things. I know that there are like two things that people asked us to talk about, right?
Yes. Hold on. I'm pulling
one has to do with a seminary president, and one has to do with an apologist.
Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and start with the apologist, James White's tweet.
Right. So we know James White. I think James considers us friends. I consider James
friendly,
a friend. Yeah. And so he's been tweeting a lot, and he's been getting a lot of static for it. And then what did he say recently? That at last look, I see 107 retweets, 686 likes, 506 comments.
Oh, goodness. All right. Here's what James White said. Which is more likely to be the central cause for the fact that black women are 3.5 times more likely to kill their unborn children? 1, fundamentally rebellious sexual ethics, fatherlessness, and sexual license. Or 2, slavery from 160 years ago. Huh.
That's not funny.
Huh.
Bro. What are you going to say? What do you want to say, Jimmy? You should say something.
Yeah, I mean,
because you can apologize on
so I can
next
apologize.
week.
So I can apologize next week. Yeah, to them. Yeah,
You want me to go first? You're going to go.
I'm going to say that there's things that I keep my mouth. I try to listen and learn before speaking.
Right.
Right. And that's not to say that, because for me, I'm naive. Now, that's not to say that Dr. White hasn't been researching.
You're saying he's ignorant.
No,
that's
I did not just say that. I said
you're implying that James White is ignorant.
I just said that I'm sure that Dr. White has spent time researching and going over it. But I think there's people that maybe it would be helpful to talk to get a fuller perspective on these things.
Okay, so you're saying he doesn't have a full perspective. So you are saying he's ignorant. Okay. So
I did not say
James
ignorant,
White,
but I would say
Dr.
that
White?
I would just say it's hard to know everything fully when you're not
when you don't have the knowledge. Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
not.
I know what you're saying.
Because now I have to apologize to James White. I know, and he's going to come after me, and he's a lot smarter than me and better looking.
He looks like Gollum on steroids. Okay, he is definitely not better looking than you. You're a handsome man. You're exotic looking.
That is, I don't know about that, but yeah, I appreciate the sentiment there.
You definitely are. So yeah, look, this really upset a lot of people, and I know, James is a debater. James is, like he's got that computer brain. He's got that cyborg brain. That doesn't mean he's always right. Yeah. But he's very much about, like, I'm going to put forth these ideas and let's interact with these ideas. And what I think is missing from this, I have problems with the tweet. But one of the things that I think is missing from this is the understanding that people are going to read what you said in a certain way because of the way it is posited. And so whether your point is right or wrong, sometimes the way you present something makes it harder for people to understand or to receive or to even really strongly consider it.
So you're saying the way he worded it is the issue here?
Well, I think one of the issues is, and I think, listen, James, I could be wrong, but I think sometimes you will say things on social media in a way, and it's hard, got 140 characters or whatever, but I think you'll say things on social media in a way that hurts what your point probably is. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I gotta wonder, like, it begs some questions. Okay, so you've only posited two options here, and I think it's pretty obvious that you're arguing for number one, that the reason the African American community has 3.5 times more abortions than I assume white communities, Asian communities, it's got to be white, I'm guessing, is because you're arguing that they have a rebellious sexual ethic in that people group. There's fatherlessness in that people group and sexual license. And okay, so fatherlessness is an objective thing that you can point to, right?
Yeah.
There is an epidemic there. There's a real problem there that even obviously the African American community recognizes and talks a lot about. But to say that there are more abortions because that people group has a more rebellious sexual ethic. Well, first of all, I don't know that you can prove that. I don't necessarily believe that that's true. I think that there are other factors that could equate to this issue. So I think fatherlessness probably comes into play here. I think the question itself is a good question. Why do some of our people groups in our culture, why do some segments of our society have more problems in particular areas? And why are more crimes committed by this particular social group than another? Fair question to ask. But then to posit it this way, I think it reduces it to something that is not necessarily fair. And so I see a lot of people reacting, but then it seems like Dr. White then goes at people and sometimes he's justified in what he says based on their words.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think he's assuming something about their pushback. In fact, I saw a lot of people who say, James, I'm a fan. I love you.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. But this tweet, at best, it sounds really bad. It sounds really bad.
Yeah.
So maybe we could explore this a little bit. And then at some point, I think he stopped engaging on this particular thread.
So wait, when you're saying that, are you saying, sorry, I'm missing what you just were talking about there. Are you talking about how James reacts to the reaction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of that. And it's almost like, well, I get the feeling that it doesn't sound in those exchanges that Dr. White is trying to understand another person's perspective
Yeah.
as much as he is arguing for his own. And again, when you are a technical professional apologist, I can understand that kind of coming out, but especially on social media, I think it's important if you're going to have a dialogue, then actually have a dialogue.
Yeah. And I think part of my frustration is when you see others like Joel McDermott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they start engaging back and forth, I actually think it's really unhelpful online. Watching reading Dr. White and Dr. McDermott going at it, because it doesn't seem very charitable on both sides.
Right.
Like it almost seems like there's accusations of, well, not accusations. I mean, he flat out, Joel came off as saying, you big dummy kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
This is basic stuff that you should have learned back in the,
right.
back in
or
the
like
day.
the claim that you are a racist based on this tweet. Like, I don't think that's fair.
I don't think that's fair at all.
And I don't think James is a racist at all. But I think, like, if somebody were to ask me, why do you think African-American women have 3.5 times more abortions than white women, I would definitely not say, oh, it's because they have a more rebellious sexual ethic, along with fatherlessness. I wouldn't make that case. But I would say that, again, I don't know the answer. I wouldn't pretend to know the answer. I'm not a sociologist. I haven't studied all of that. But I think I would at least want to bring up, like, well, they're when you are in, let's just say that there's a greater percentage of poverty among African Americans in America.
Yeah.
And so when you are in that context, you have less resources. You said fatherlessness, so there's less family support. I think that those things contribute significantly to the choices that people make. And again, abortion is murder. It's a Holocaust. It's awful. It needs to come to an end, and we need to seek its abolition. I totally agree with all of that. I just don't think it's as easy. But the thing that you said was, you basically were saying earlier, I think you were saying that we're all strong in certain areas, and we're weaker in other areas.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't think we recognize that we aren't as strong in some areas as we are in others. It's almost like it's almost like we don't know our limitations.
It's like we don't realize that maybe we're not as smart, but we are better looking.
Yes, at least we know it.
At least we know it.
We do know it. And that's why I can get away with driving that yellow hoopty.
Because you know
Because I look so good. And here's the thing. If you don't know your limitations, if you don't listen more, if you don't recognize like, hey, you know what? I have opinions on everything, and either I don't take them too seriously, or I hold those opinions, and even though I believe in them, I'm still know that like I'm not an expert. I don't have this figured out, so I want to listen a lot. If you don't do that, you can actually lose credibility then where you're strong.
Yeah.
You can actually start to lose people trusting you where you definitely know what you're talking about because you've made such a big blunder in other areas. And so I think how you say stuff actually matters. And
Yeah.
And this is not just James White here. This is all of us. When you say something and everybody or a huge percentage of people are saying, bro, this is terrible. At some point, you got to stop saying you're misunderstanding, and you have to start saying maybe I miscommunicated, or maybe I misspoke. Maybe the way I went about this is wrong.
Yeah, and I think that was actually McDermott's point, right? Was listen, it's not beholden to the listener to try to figure out what you're intending. That's your job,
Right.
as a speaker,
And especially, as pastors, like I know as pastors, we're supposed to have a prophetic voice. The church is supposed to have a prophetic voice. But it's really important that we are at the same time, technically accurate as much as possible when we're saying things, but also not unnecessarily trigger inducing. Sometimes you have to be necessarily trigger inducing, but not always. And if you're just going for the triggers, then, and I don't think that's what maybe he is. I don't think
like
that's
clickbait.
No, just like I'm going to get people riled up by putting this out there. And it's like, well, so what's the purpose? Like, why are you doing this? Is it to stir people up? Is it to make people think? Is it to create a dialogue? Because basically what your point is should have an impact on how you go about it.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to trigger people, then fine. You can just troll.
Trigger away, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're trying to do something better than that,
And I will just, in the midst of that conversation, there's two individuals that stuck out as level-headed, charitable, gracious, seeking to clarify.
Jerry, talk about Jerry Falwell Jr.?
No.
Did he get in on that?
No,
because he was active.
Yeah, that's
he was
not
active this week.
I'll talk about Jasmine Holmes and Trillia Newbell.
Yeah, I read that. Yep.
Both of these ladies were. I was humbled, right? Like I was humbled reading their responses and their probing questions, and
I really liked them.
I sat back and go, why can't we have these sort of interactions like this, right? Why is it that everything has to be at an 11? Why does everything have to be?
Not everything's a 10.
Not everything's a 10 kind of a thing, right? And so why can't we have a conversation and try to seek clarity, seek understanding, and seek it in such a way where we're recognizing that we're brothers and sisters in Christ and that we want to seek to glorify God in all things. And so why does everything have to devolve into a Trump debate where it just becomes just these accusations and finger pointing and just these it's being all dramatic.
If everything is fake news, then nothing is fake news, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like if you're, we go full Trump, like, and it's across the board. Like I tell people all the time, like I don't enjoy social media. I like Instagram. That's what I like. I like Instagram. I like pictures. I like seeing what people are doing. And there's at least in my context, I don't get any heat. There's no weird static or anything.
Well, that's because we have no substance.
So there, I don't really enjoy it. And so people are like, well, then why are you on there? And it's because, well, on the one hand, because, you're basically like when you're writing, even if they're little pamphlets like I write, like your publisher wants you on there. If you've written something good, you want people to know about it. So you got to be on social media. People are on there. So there's different reasons. There's good reasons to be on there, but by and large, man, it feels like it's devolved and it continues to devolve worse and worse, into something that is just totally unhelpful. Although
You know what was helpful, though?
What's that?
That I just got an update from Matt Smith.
Oh, the pilot Matt.
Yes, Pilot Matt. I just got
Him
an
and
update.
his stupid hair. Yeah.
No, he's got great hair.
Hi, guys.
So just a reminder, my question to him was, did you say to Joe that you like him more than me? Follow up, can I read good? And he goes, haha, you two boneheads, I would never. Why would you ever lie?
Oh, he didn't specifically say it. He implied it.
No.
And then look,
liar.
But look, I just got a tweet from him.
Oh, let me see it. Show me.
Hi, guys. Since you are still arguing about it, you are my favorite.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm not. Let me see this.
Yeah. Matt just said, you are my favorite.
That's pretty genius. That was pretty genius.
He said it to both of us.
He said it to both of us.
But that's a singular you, not a plural. So he's talking to me.
He's talking about me.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I know
Appreciate
it's
you,
me.
bro. You know, let me just say this. Like, because I mean, I think people know, but maybe they don't know. Jimmy.
Yes.
What do you really think about, say, like the social justice, like, movement? What is your overall thought and opinion on, like, everything from Antifa to reparations?
Yeah,
where do you fall? Do you fall more towards those calling for social justice? Do you fall more into more of a conservative libertarian camp? Like, where do you think you fall?
I'm more conservative in that regard. Yes.
And so am I.
Yeah.
I'm pretty libertarian. Stay out of my business. We can get along with this. Again, I think that there are issues we got to deal with. But we are not, again, like when the whole social justice and a gospel thing came out from founders and all those guys, we actually agree probably with a lot of their political positions, but it's oftentimes the way things are presented, the things that aren't said, along with the things that are said. Like there are things that they aren't saying enough, and so like I don't want to be associated with that. Because it's a more complicated conversation than some of these tweets or some of these statements kind of pretend.
That's right.
Right. So like
it's not as cookie cutter, right?
And so like I don't think reparations are feasible. And so like there's a good example. I don't think reparations are feasible. And now they're calling for reparations essentially for the gay and lesbian community because they weren't allowed to get married for so long and they mixed out on tax benefits.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right. So like I don't think that this is possible. I don't think it would be profitable for a whole host of reasons. I've got 10 reasons why, but I also wouldn't pretend to be an expert on it. And that's not my fundamental interest. It is not my secondary emphasis. It is, in fact, it falls outside of the realm of my expertise.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to go public and make a big showing on those particular issues. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just saying like people need to stay in their lane. I think it's fair game. We should be able to talk about it. And some people do need to engage. But that's not what we do. And that's our podcast isn't about that stuff. So we have a particular focus and a particular emphasis.
Yeah. And today it's about ranting.
Today it's about ranting. We're just kind of blowing off some steam. Since we already mentioned him, we want to talk about Genius Falwell. Jerry Falwell.
Do we?
Why is your phone? Who is it now?
My lawyer.
Tim.
He's probably telling me right now, apologize now so you can save it later.
It's already leaking.
All right. So, yeah, let's talk about Genius Falwell.
So, what happened?
All right. The Associated Press put out a tweet. Government moves most of the children out of a Texas Border Patrol station after AP report that more than 300 children were held there in perilous conditions. Right?
Okay.
And so they got this story, they're putting it out there, and Russ Moore retweeted it.
Now let's just say for a moment here, let's assume that this is true. Okay. We'll say, hey, like sometimes news stories are wrong. Let's assume that this is true. It doesn't mean that the whole Border Patrol system is bankrupt. It doesn't mean that every station has deplorable conditions.
Correct.
But it looks like there may be a situation where a particular Texas Border Patrol station had perilous conditions for kids, and so 300 kids were pulled out of there. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
So Russ Moore retweets it with the comment. He goes, "The reports of the conditions for migrant children at the border should shock all of our consciences. Those created in the image of God should be treated with dignity and compassion, especially those seeking refuge from violence back home. We can do better than this."
Deep state.
Oh, SBC
that's deep state
That's
right there.
SBC deep state right there. Now, okay.
So listen, let's pick apart his tweet because
All
there's so much wrong with it.
Yes.
Number one.
There was a report. Okay, all right, the AP reported. All right. So, okay. And the report was about unfavorable conditions for migrant children at the border.
I'm not.
Okay, that's there. I can't. And
what
should
about
shock all of our consciences? You know what? Yes.
Okay.
If these are true, if this is
there's
true.
something here. There's something here we can get mad at. Hang on.
Okay.
Those
how about this one?
created in the image of God should be treated
Treat
with
dignity and compassion.
all right.
Oh, especially
But-
those seeking refuge from violence back home.
Okay. Oh, they're not all seeking refuge. Some of them are faking it.
Some of them are faking refuge. Okay. All right. Let's go with that. And that we could do better than this.
What's wrong?
I don't see anything.
Okay, fine. I agree. And listen, I believe
That's a perfect comment.
I'll go ahead and say this. Listen, so everybody can hate me, or not everybody. I like the idea of a very secure border. I like the idea of a wall. I like the idea of
Joe put a wall on our table to keep me away from his side.
Yeah. He, because you are definitely not seeking refuge over here. In fact, I probably want to come over to your side. Look, I want us to bring in not just refugees. I want us to have a strong immigration policy, and I want us to bring people in from
Going through the
various
process
cultures.
in a legal way.
All great. I'm for that, but I like a strong border, and I agree with what Russell Moore said here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Not everybody liked what he said.
well,
Genius
the
didn't
genius
like
did here. Who are you, Dr. Moore? I don't know. Well, he is Russ Moore.
it. He knows who he is because he said Russ Moore was deep state just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, okay, so, who are you, Dr. Moore? Have you ever made a payroll?
What?
Have you ever built an organization of any type from scratch?
What?
What gives you authority to speak on any issue? I'm being serious.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
I thought he was
didn't know-
joking.
I didn't know
thought
he was
being playing
serious.
around.
He's being serious.
He's so serious. You're nothing but an employee, a bureaucrat. Oh, well,
Okay.
thank you.
And Jerry's not an employee of the president?
But here's the thing. What does any of this have to do with what Russ Moore's talking about? Have you ever made a payroll? What does that have to do with this? Okay, I've made payroll.
Well, I haven't.
So does that mean now I get to?
But I don't.
I get to go ahead and
I
speak
don't-
on this
I don't
thing?
get to.
Okay. Have you ever built an organization of any type from scratch? I have.
What did you build from scratch?
You know what? I will say it. I will say it.
Mm-hmm.
A ministry, a parachurch organization, a Young Life club in an
Okay.
area that didn't have it. An
You didn't build it
organization
from scratch. You had
Yeah,
resources coming to you from Young Life to do it. So you didn't build it from scratch.
No, from scratch.
You didn't build that.
I built it.
You didn't build that. That's
I
what
built
Obama
that.
said. You didn't build that.
You didn't build
We
that.
all built that.
Okay. So, have you ever built an organization
I
of any
have.
type? What have you done?
Doctrine and devotion.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I let you,
Oh, you let
Yeah,
me?
you made mud pies, in the backyard while I was making dinner. That's
Yeah.
what it really was. But
All right, dance, puppet, dance. Let's just go with that. All right there, buddy. Have you ever built an organization of any type from scratch?
okay, so we have actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
but still, what does
None
that
of
have
that's
to do with
irrelevant.
this?
Who
What
cares?
What is this is what it means to have a resume? Like that, if you don't have these things, you can't speak on a topic.
What gives you authority to speak? First of all, it's not an issue of authority. What gives you the right to speak on any issue? The truth of God, our responsibility as American citizens, and by the way, isn't he the
Aren't you
head
junior?
of the ERLC? Isn't Russ Moore isn't he the main guy at the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission? Isn't his job, his calling, his vocation to speak into civil, moral, social, and religious issues? That's his job. That's actually his job.
Well, you're nothing but an employee, a bureaucrat.
Yeah, well, so is JJ. So is Jerry Jr.
So that's what I want to get.
Doesn't
here.
make any sense.
So, all right, Jared Jr. Didn't you get your position from your dad? Didn't Senior give you this position?
Did he give it to him?
Come on now. It's always listen. Any
Didn't
organization.
your dad give you your job, Jimmy?
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Of course. But that's what I'm trying to get at there.
Yeah.
Is like, what right do you have then? What right did you work to make that happen?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
It's a weird. Okay, so all right, so what do you disagree with? Okay, let's just say his problem is that he doesn't believe that the reason 300 kids were taken out of there was because it was messed up. Maybe he believes 300 kids were taken out of there because they wanted to take them to a worse facility, or maybe they wanted to take them on a field trip. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he actually believes is going on. But so Russ Moore is at the very least saying, like, okay, if these things are true, then we should be doing better. Like, I just don't understand what it. You know, what my favorite part of this was?
Which part?
Jacob Den Hollander.
Okay.
Do you know who he is?
Nope.
Jacob Den Hollander? You don't know?
Oh, yes, Rachel Den.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
You're riding the coattails of your wife. Now I understand. Yes, continue.
He has
all respect when I say that.
Not only does he have this funny tweet, but he has the best GIF for it as well. He said, Twitter is annoying sometimes, but it's worth it for the times when we can all come together, set aside our differences, and arrive at the same answer to the question, is Jerry Falwell Jr. a tremendous doofus? That was funny. It's funny. Because, like, listen, it's a doofusy thing to say. I'm not, like, listen, we all say dumb things. Sometimes we have to apologize on a podcast because we say something dumb.
Hey,
sometimes you have to do it a couple times, if you're Jimmy Fowler. But,
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I have to apologize in bigger contexts than this. So
Yeah.
We all have to do it. Man, what is going on with people? There were people tripping so hard.
That's the part that really is upsetting. Is I don't know if Jerry Jr. here actually gave it some thought, right? Like, it is his whole thing just because he's against Russ Moore. Oh, Russ Moore said something, I gotta come out against him.
Well, that happens a lot, right? People, if your opponent says, and Republicans and Democrats do this all the time. Oh, you've got an idea?
What's Jerry?
What's that?
What political party is he?
Oh, he is caps lock Republican.
Oh,
He's
yes.
Trumpian. He's not just Republican.
Oh, that's right. He had the photo with Trump with the Playboy magazine behind him. Continue.
So it's like, but we do this, right? If, when Democrats in the past are calling for strong border controls, Obama did this, Democrats are for it. When Trump calls for it, they're like, whoa, this is messed up. And it's like, if your opponent says something, it's your opponent, you go after it with a lot of heat. It's almost like it doesn't matter what your opponent says oftentimes, especially on social media. You consider them an enemy, or you consider them whatever, bad. They're the bad guy. And so you have to disagree. You can't affirm what they say because they're on the wrong side of the aisle, or because they're an Arminian and you're a Calvinist. You got to dismiss it, or vice versa. Listen, there's a lot of truth out there that people are going to articulate, and just because you don't like them in 7 out of 10 areas doesn't mean that you have to disagree with the other 3. Did I get that right?
Good job,
Did I do the
buddy.
math? All right, good. I got the math right.
So, Jerry, I hope you would just maybe when you approach Twitter, why don't you approach it in the same way that you approach your hostel down in Miami?
What?
The one that you helped
Wait,
Trey.
what are you talking about? I have no idea
The
what
family has a hostel. A hostel. You know what a hostel is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like
has a hostel down in Miami.
Well, explain what a hostel is, because if I know what it is, because
so
I've
it's
seen
like a
horror
cheap
movies,
hotel for people that you could share a room with people. It's got like bunk. It's almost like a college dorm,
right? And so it's extra cheap. I know in
cheap.
Europe they're real popular because
Really
people
popular.
will travel.
So why don't you take the advice of the hostel? The property that you helped Trey, your son, purchase and stuff. And on the gate, you guys have
I'm
to
sorry.
sign.
Hang on. Wait. Where is this hostel?
This is in Miami, Florida.
So there is a hostel in Miami.
Yeah, Miami Hostel, 810 Alton Road. Yes, continue.
And who owns it?
It's owned by, I think, let's see.
I don't know about this.
Yeah. Jerry Falwell III, better known as Trey, who purchased the property with financial help from his father, Jerry Falwell Jr.
Wait. There's 3 of them?
Yeah.
They're
like
like stop the
gremlins.
cycle of violence.
They're like gremlins. You put water on them,
Oh, they just multiply.
This is from Politico.com back in...
Oh, okay. Here. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Back in
it's from
2017.
Politico.
Yeah,
Now we know where you get
2017.
your news, Jimmy.
So why don't you go ahead and follow the advice there when you approach Twitter. No soliciting, fundraising, politics, salesmen, Well, you also say religion on there, but you know.
So the hostel has a sign up or something?
Yeah, no soliciting, fundraising, politics, salesman, religion. Also inside, they've got brochures for strip clubs and stuff. It's also
What are you talking
the
about?
owner has the same
Are
thing.
you gossiping right now?
No. I'm reading a report here.
Oh, I'm predicting an apology next week.
I'm gonna. You know what? I want you to go. I'm gonna send this.
Send me
to
the
you.
link.
I want you to post this.
I'm not posting it.
Yeah, no, post it on so people can see it.
Okay, fine. I'm going to put an asterisk by it. Say this is Jimmy.
This is Jimmy. That's
Okay.
fine. Go ahead. I'll do that.
So you're saying that
I'm just saying, be consistent. Here's the thing: you want to come out after other people and say, where's your values here? Where's your morality? Where is your sense of where's your conscience here? Right? You're just trying to attack an individual because they disagree with you, because they're maybe disagreeing with what your homeboy Trump is saying. Take care of your own house. And then go ahead and start looking at other people.
Okay, I get it.
What?
Oh, man,
Go ahead.
we just lost a bunch of subscribers.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks a lot,
And you know
Jimmy.
what? I'm not apologizing for my Falwell rant. That one is a faux promise.
Listen, this is not a very nuanced podcast. This is not a very nuanced episode.
I just sent it to you. It's called My Weekend at the Falwell South Beach Flophouse.
Oh, it's a flop house. Okay. Well, look. You know, like people like why? So we had a guy that was saying like, you know, he doesn't like these episodes. We've done two, but here's the thing. Like the ultimate reason we started a podcast was because Jimmy and I wanted to actually put something out there that showed a different side of men in ministry and pastors. We wanted to show that while there's theological integrity and passion and hopefully working towards precision and all of that, there's also friendship and fun. Like, this is how we are. Every once in a while, we'll get somebody go like, so that's just like an act that you guys do? You guys like kind of ham it up on the podcast?
No, this is us.
No, this is at every coffee shop, every diner. Like, this is how we are. We get serious when it's time to get serious, but most of the time we're pretty goofy, and we wanted to actually show that. And so when we're doing these episodes where we're dealing with social media stupidity or whatever we call it, our angry rants, it's because like we want to actually show like these are the things that we talk about, the way that we talk about it. It's okay. It's okay to have the conversations, especially if you're trying to learn, wanting to learn. Like, listen, sometimes we're trying to move the needle. Sometimes we're trying to make a real point. And in this context, the real point that we're trying to make is people need to chill some, be a little more gracious.
And Falwell needs to go away, yes.
Yeah. Is it funny? His name is Falwell. Brother falls like every week on Twitter.
I was trying to think where you're going to go with that.
He falls well.
I just wish it become a farewell.
Oh, farewell, Falwell.
There we go.
Hashtag.
Hashtag that.
I don't know.
Apologizing.
I think, listen, it's not going to be an every Thursday thing.
Well, as long as you guys keep it chill.
I'm telling you this. The more... Okay, so we had one person say they didn't like it. If we start getting a bunch of people saying that they hate these, we're going to do them every Thursday.
Oh, gosh.
That's how I do. That's how I go.
Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to start an extra podcast just for this.
Just to be as unbalanced and unnuanced as possible. Because you know what? Hey, listen. There is a time, like we're arguing for nuance. We're arguing for balance, right? But there is a time to like let things just kind of go and have a rolling conversation. That it's okay. I guess I'm concerned that on social media, even when we think we're trying to do something good, we wind up not making our point, and we wind up pushing people away from what we believe is the truth, or worse, we wind up pushing people away from the truth because of the way we're putting things out there. I don't like it.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You could follow
Not
us
really.
online on
Not
Instagram
on
and
this
Twitter
one.
at Doctor
Keep
Devo,
it to
or on
yourself.
Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion.
I'm logging
You can head
out.
to the website, drdevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast or hit up the store, jofostore.com, and grab some gear. Fresh
some
pod
gear.
every Monday and Thursday, blog post on Wednesdays, video content on Fridays. Later.